without putting the blame on others, there's still a large majority of America that don't want to see black people succeed. That ain't black, right? So you got racism and discrimination that still plays its factors even to this day. So we're put into certain positions that keep us poor, keep us less wealthy. The things that we do to contribute that, helps that too, where we are the biggest consumers on earth. We don't seek to own anything, but we want to buy up all of the consumer products possible. Once you mix those two together, you got a pretty bad gun to shoot that down. So.
Okay. So you think black people have a tendency to be more focused on material wealth, material possessions, and things like that? Yeah,
because that's what we perceive wealth to be. We perceive it to be the one who has the most stuff, and not the person who has the most assets. I don't know if you've seen the meme from Michael Blackston, the comedian. He was standing next to Dave Chappelle and talking about, Dave Chappelle just got $20 million, but he wearing less than $100 worth of clothes. I just got paid $600 for this event, and I got on $50,000 worth of clothes, jewelry. I got an entourage around me and all that stuff too. So our perception of what wealth is backwards. So it's not that we're broke. Trillions of dollars flow through the African American community as far as revenue. We just don't channel it properly.
Okay, so do you think that in the black community we have a generational curse as far as wealth goes? And if so, how do you think we can solve it?
I won't say curse. The reason why I don't, because usually a curse stems from something you've done wrong. So being black is not wrong, but that's what we've been, guilty of since we've been here in America, being black. So like we talked about earlier, the systematic factors that play into keeping us poor or less wealthy, those play factors. We can't really do much about those things. The things we can do about it, we need to do better, like stop being consumers as much and be owners more, acquire more assets, real estate, start businesses that can really create an upward mobility for us, and all of those factors.
Okay. So I also noticed in the book that the album 444 by Jay-Z has a lot to do with like the inspiration behind it. So can you tell us kind of how those two fit together?
Well, I started writing Wealth some years ago actually, but then I got so busy with a lot of other things. I got away from that project when 444 came out, and that was around about March or whatever, 17. I said I gotta finish what I started, and that was the catalyst to get me to finish the book out. There's a few songs that really just grabbed me and said, you gotta finish this and make this a project that is widespread for everybody. The story of OJ is the framework of the book art. That's on the book cover, J-Bo, the character. One quote out of the story of OJ is about real estate. Don't die over the neighborhood that your mama rented, meaning that we rep these streets all day, we rep these neighborhoods, and we ride up and down these neighborhoods and cause mischief and all types of chaos, but we don't own them, right? So, and he says take your drug money, I don't like that term, but take your money and buy the neighborhood, right? Don't just rep your hood, buy your hood, put some money in the hood, create some jobs, start a business, and that's how you really help the community, And then, another song is Family Feud. So we have to do better by making sure we restore the black family, because that gives us a better opportunity to leave inheritances and build, a real financial head start for our future.
Wow. So it sounds like you feel like the family has a lot to do with determining our net worth as African Americans. Are there other ways that we can determine our own net worth?
Take what makes you money, might as well take money out, and that's your net worth. Your goal is to have more assets and liabilities. And in the black community, we have perceived liabilities to be assets, so we pick up so many of those, thinking that they're assets, and that's why we just so whacked out, because we don't really realize that those shoes that we buy every week, those chains and those cars really don't have no real value. It's the other stuff that's valuable. So That's the real way to determine it. When you can look in your closet and you can look in, your driveway and all that stuff, and you see more money out there than you see in your pocket, then you know it's a problem for sure.
For sure.
Definitely.
Well, I think we can both agree that a lot of the issues in the Black community as far as wealth go are due to a lack of education. So what are some of the top things you think we should know as far as money management and financial literacy?
Overall, and that's probably one of the biggest tragedies for the Black community is that when you look in the suburbs, you look in white homes and Asian homes, Arab homes, financial literacy is taught at home. It's not taught at school, and we shouldn't expect it to be taught at school. We need to teach it at home. We didn't know it, so how can we teach it? But this is the generation to get that started. And it's the simple things for me is the difference between understanding what you make and what you keep. Don't pay your bills first, pay yourself first. Invest in you before you invest in the leftover bills. It should never be you get the leftovers of your check after you done bust, your hump all week. Those simple things that you need to pick up and understand what a real asset is versus a liability, in different ways to pursue them, given that we are handicapped and disadvantaged as Black folks. Those are the things that we have to invest time into learning and mastering in order for us to really be a wealthier culture.
I agree. So you mentioned that the financial literacy and money management aspect is not really something that's taught in the Black home. So I'm curious to know kind of how this information came about in your own life.
Well, it came from mistakes, and watching my parents, they didn't know money, right? And I had to learn it just from watching them, and seeing something just not right. And, it's a bad vibe with money, in the household. And so I had to go and do it myself. And a lot of us we would have to do that too. But our goal is to make sure that our children don't have to do that. So we got to make sure that they know the game because we learned it the hard way. And we need to make it easier for them.
For sure, I agree. So what are some key things we need to know as far as the different chapters in your book? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, what are the most important aspects of the book that we should focus on when we're reading?
So I wrote the book to kind of flow beginning and end. And it's broken down in sections. So each section brings out a certain point or a certain vibe you need to pull out of it. The first section was just really explaining what wealth was overall. That would dispel any myths or misconceptions of what wealth would be. The second section lays out that framework of understanding money, because a bad misconception in the Black community is that hustle is all you need. And hustling is active income. And that's only going to be active and good depending on how much you work. You need a passive income as well. So understanding money and how it works, and it don't just work off your work, it works off your money's work too, is what the framework of section 2 is. And then 3 and 4 just lays out different investment strategies to go about once you understand how money works and how to place it, what bullets to put and what gun to shoot in the rest of the book.
Okay. So I guess some closing words from you, kind of, if you could tell yourself, your younger self, maybe 3 things or more that you can come up with as far as money that you wish you would have known when you were younger.
One thing that I know for sure that I would tell my children that I didn't learn is that I cannot consume stuff I don't own. So there's nothing wrong with liking the Jordans. There's nothing wrong with liking nice clothes and enjoying life. But if I don't own that stuff as an investor, don't touch it as a consumer. Don't buy Nikes unless you own Nike. Don't eat at McDonald's unless you own McDonald's. Think more owner-like and less consumer-like, and then you'll be all right.
Okay, so before we wrap up, let us know where we can find you on social media and where we can order your book.
All right, well, my book is available right now at my website, which is gateways to Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. That's www.raphaelwright.com. You can also find my book on Amazon.com and Barnes and Noble as well. My social media is Pharaoh_Rafa, that's Fairo_RAFA, that's Instagram and Twitter. I'm also on LinkedIn as well. You hit me up on all of those. I'm active on all of that.
And you guys can follow me on Instagram at Micah.Maria, that's MICAH.MARIA. Also on LinkedIn at Micah Thornhill. Thank you.